My usual partner is out today.
I guess that means I'm in, Shep.
One of our producers, Jason, joins me for Extra Time. Next.
Welcome, everybody. I'm not Greg Lawless, but this is Extra Time, and of course, Shep Messing with me.
Well, Jason, usually you prepare for the week by arguing everything with Greg Lawless. So how did you get ready for this week's shows?
Definitely needed to dress up a little more than I'd normally do behind the glass, Shep, but watched about 18 hours of MLS, which is the usual for me.
Good.
I got plenty to talk about, but let's get right into it. Philadelphia Union, what do you think, Shep?
Jason, I love it. And I'm not a big believer in focus groups and a ton of money on market research. To me, there are two things about a name and a logo. Is it cool, and would I wear it on a shirt? Philadelphia Union and that logo, for me, it's awesome. So they got it right.
Yeah, it's definitely gotten a lot of positive responses so far. So we decided we'd talk Eastern Conference today, yep. Western Conference tomorrow, 8 out of 9 games in this past week, conference games. We'll do some previews on Thursday of the weekend games. But Shep, I know where you want to start, and it's definitely in New York with the Red Bulls' big 4-1 win.
Red Bulls, Jason, I thought it was Barcelona the first 35 minutes. I've really never seen a team play as well for 35 minutes. Running off the ball, Rojas playing one touch, playing in the left side of the midfield, Kanji up top with Juan Pablo Angel, Saladas sweeping in front of the back four. It was really, for 35 minutes, a thing of beauty.
Shep, I get that you're very excited. I love to play devil's advocate, and I have to say here, they're playing San Jose, which is one of the worst teams in the league, right now at least, and they traveled all the way to the East Coast to play this game. The Red Bulls took advantage of it, but it was a gimme, wasn't it? I
don't want to hear an excuse about travel. Everybody has to travel. And in Major League Soccer, I really don't believe there are any bad teams. Surely there are teams that are playing poorly. San Jose is one of them. There was some horrific defending at the back, but I'm giving the credit to New York Red Bulls. As a team, they were running off the ball. They were playing one touch. They absolutely deserve that game.
Yeah, Osorio really lit a fire under them. The biggest Eastern Conference game, though, had to be first place versus second place. DC United hosting Toronto FC this weekend. Great game, 3-3. Crazy in the end, huh?
Jason, at the end, I'm a fan like everybody else watching, and that, for me, as a fan, was a great game. Remember, Toronto did this without Carl Robinson, and Carl Robinson, I think, is a key for them as a general in the midfield. But you saw the impact of a world-class player like De Rosario turn a game with, for me, one of the best goals we've seen this year at a crucial time in the game. And what can you say about DC United? Some of their goals, their comebacks, Jaime Moreno with the dummy, Pontius, at the time he thought he had the winner before De Rosario came back. It was fun to watch.
Yeah, it was a great game for DC. The thing that stuck out for me this week was DC United playing 2 games, Wednesday and Saturday. They basically used completely different lineups for both games. I think they had 3 players started both games. So Tommy Stone's really getting a lot out of his team, using the full roster. And to see Nsilu get a goal, Pontius, who's, he's had some good goals. He's had some struggles with his finishing, getting a goal. Rodney Wallace has become a must-start for them. It's really got to be, big for DC to get all these players on the field this early in the season.
Yeah, Tommy Stone, I think, has done a great job. If you look a month ago, maybe that team was in disarray. Once he finds a permanent goalkeeper, I think the sky's the limit for them.
Yeah, I think definitely as we continue through the Eastern Conference, talking about goalkeepers, Andy Grunbaum starting again for Columbus. Columbus, MLS Cup champs, 0 wins. That's pretty bad for them coming in this late in the season. But 10th anniversary of Cruz Stadium, and they do get the W.
Jason, I never panicked about them. They have too many good players. The coaching, people talking about Siggy Schmidt, great coach, doing a great job in Seattle, but this Columbus Crew is still a very good team. And when you have a player like Schelotto pulling the strings, orchestrating, you have a healthy Frankie Hayduk back in the lineup. Yes, he's great as a right back overlapping, but he's also the heart and soul, the character of that team. Robbie Rogers healthy, Eddie Gavin. They have a lot of weapons, and good for them to finally get the win.
Yeah, and Warzija said, once they got that first win and that confidence, he really thinks it's going to keep on rolling. It's a shame though for Kansas City. Claudio Lopez sick in the game, and doesn't come in until halftime. But when he does, he really changes things for Kansas City. He whips in great balls from the side. His goal was a perfect example of how you take a free kick. You know, it's either going in someone's going to hit it and deflect it in, or it's going to go in itself, and forces the goalkeeper to make a choice.
Well, I know you're a former goalkeeper, and you're right. That's one of the most difficult plays for a goalkeeper. We saw Landon Donovan do it last year. We saw Rojas do it against San Jose. It's the same ball, Claudio Lopez, because when a player whips in a ball to the far post, bending in on goal with velocity, goalkeeper has to make a quick decision before that ball reaches the edge of the 6-yard box. Do I come out, try and play it, or do I sit back and react to a flick header? Right. Great play by Claudio Lopez.
Yeah, we got to keep moving the show and get to some other teams in the East. And this is definitely for our frequent emailer, Nathan in Chicago, who I know will like this one. We're getting to Chicago at the end of our show, and they're the only undefeated team left in MLS, Shep. How are we waiting until the end of the show to get to Chicago?
It's unbelievable. But, Jason, if you look at the Fire, they haven't been beaten. Nobody has beaten them. If you're Dennis Hamlet, are you getting a little bit frustrated that you're not getting the game-winning goals? Absolutely. But you talk about the talent they have. Dennis Hamlet would be more concerned if he weren't getting those goal-scoring opportunities.
Right.
I also have to give credit to Stevie Nicol, ex-Liverpool team in New England, decimated by injuries, makeshift. Stevie Nicol and Paul Mariner have them playing organized and destructive on the road. And I mean that in the best sense. He's making it very difficult for teams to beat them.
Yeah, I think, you know, Chicago, it's an unimpressive 2-0-6, but they've been a lot closer to winning those 6 than they have been to losing them. They're definitely creating more chances than they're giving up. And you figure, I mean, this weekend, Thornton, you know, misses that, what should have been a sitter, really, I think, in MLS, you know, misses that opportunity. And, you know, you think with the depth that Chicago has, they start putting in the players who are finishing throughout the course of the season, they're going to have more W's than they are going to have losses.
Yeah, I think you're right. Again, I'm speaking coach's mentality. If they were not creating those goal-scoring opportunities, Dennis Hamlet would be much more concerned. I think he's going to focus on how do we make our Chicago Fire team dominant in terms of home field advantage. We saw how important that is last year with Columbus in the playoffs.
All right, Shep, it's time for me to wrap up my first ever Extra Time show.
Excellent.
That's all we have for today. Check in tomorrow. We're going to do up the Western Conference. How did I just say do it up?
Do it up. That's cool. Do it up, man. We got 12-year-olds watching this show.